Agents, I want to share with you one of the most timeless principles in becoming more effective and ultimately more profitable in our businesses. It's Peter Chabris with Lockbox, and I want to share with you today this concept of the 80-20 rule. I know the majority of us have probably heard of it, but I think a little context is beneficial when I introduce the 90-10 rule next month. So first of all, this all started as Pareto's principle. Vilfredo Pareto was a 19th century Italian economist who identified that 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of the population. And he was referring specifically to the distribution of wealth. Later on, that got picked up in the 19th century and early 20th century and was converted to what we now know as the 80-20 rule, which was that basically there was this 80%, 20% distribution among wealth and resources, which then mutated into the power law of distribution. That's what they call it in the economic and mathematics circles. The way it relates to us is that what we now know as this power law of distribution doesn't just relate to economics and to math. It relates to how we choose to use our time and the kinds of results we get back for the activities that we invest our time in. Specifically, what we know from the power law of distribution, or the 80-20 rule, is that 20% of the activities that we do will get us about 80% of the results that we're looking for. Now, there's 100 different things that we can do every day in the pursuit of residential real estate sales. The question is, what 20% of those activities are gonna get us 80% of the way to the goal that we want, which typically is a certain number of homes sold or ultimately a certain amount of income earned? The question that we have to face as real estate agents is, what is my 20%? What are those activities, that roughly 1/5 of all the realtor activities out there, that I need to do that will move the needle the most in my pursuit of the income goals that I have? Generally speaking, this is going to cluster around things called lead generation, right? I've got to have enough leads in my pipeline in order to convert enough of those into sales opportunities. And so for the majority of the agents, our 20%, and we can talk about this in another session, our 20% is going to be things like lead generation, lead conversion, improving our communication skills, understanding how to write and negotiate contracts and move things across the finish line. But it all starts with the generation of a lead, a sales opportunity. And that ultimately is our 20% in this business. If you want to significantly push or increase your income, grow your income, push your sales velocity, it's going to start by focusing on your 20%. And our 20%, generally speaking, is going to be the generation of more sales opportunities. Stick around. I'll see you in a week.